Oh, no, it's fine. It's gonna be great. Once I'm sitting up, I'll be fine. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the weekly Livestream Channeling Session. This is Dante Starshine here. Thank you for tuning in today. We're gonna get started in just a moment. This happens every week, or just about every week. There's an email list on dantestarshine.com where you get the updates. You also will find the updates on my Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube community page. The Instagram is Dante Starshine, and that has a link tree in the profile where you can find everything you need related to what I offer. Do you guys want to say hi? Do you want to say hi to the camera? You're in Denmark with some friends. Hello. People sitting in person, which doesn't always happen. We've been doing some public channeling sessions here during cacao ceremonies, and you'll see those videos posted sporadically. So there's one thing to do the channeling online, and in person it goes a lot deeper. And who knows, maybe someday I will come to do a channeling near you, if the gods will it to be. So there's a channeled book, Guidebooks Living Love on Earth. It's available on Amazon. I encourage you, if you enjoy these sessions, to buy it and read it and see all of the deep information that's available there. This is a new time to do these sessions, and it's kind of an experiment. My peak performance is in the middle of the day. I am in Europe now. This is the middle of the day. I know that it's very new for everybody to do it at this time. It's very early for some of the people on the West Coast. And there's few, but there are some. And even, who knows, maybe people in Europe are at work or something. If this is a really bad time for you, just let me know, and I will work around it and do it late at night, which is a little bit not my favorite, but I'm going even further east, so I'm just gonna have to suck it up eventually. So these are done on free donation. If you enjoy these sessions and benefit from them, please donate. DanteStarshine.com has the contact page, and you can find all the links there. It really helps me continuing to offer this for free. I'm one of the only channels who takes questions in this format and does them in videos. Most of the others don't do that, so you're getting a bonus. And I really appreciate the support. It allows me to continue to do this. Blah, 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 blah. What are the other things that I say? Mute yourself when you're not speaking in the room. The best answers you will get from asking the questions aloud. You can type them in the chat box if you really prefer. They will be read aloud. The information that can come through is a bit more limited. And these sessions are on YouTube, obviously, and these coming sessions are being transcribed and going into a book. By participating, you're consenting to whatever is within the session to be used in those materials. I appreciate your understanding, and I hope that you look forward to catching that book. I just need to turn on the do not disturb mode. Okay, so we'll begin. I'm thinking this one will be about an hour today, unless a lot more people join. We'll go up to an hour and a half, no more. And thanks for being here. I really appreciate everybody for tuning into these transmissions. And if you want to see it grow, please share these videos with others, and know that by doing this work, we are changing the world one heart at a time. opening the cosmic energy. Okay, I'm done talking as myself, and then I'll start talking as our cosmic friends. Hello, and we say good day to you at this moment of your time. We at the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many of your own guides and guardians supporting your planet in this grand process you call Ascension. It is a gift, it is an honor, it is a pleasure. It is totally fantastic for us to be here with you, for it allows us a window into your reality that allows both you and ourselves to expand in this co-creation and experience a greater connection with Source. So, we are continuing these transmissions, speaking about your evolution through the 7 chakras or energy centers, vortexes of energy that operate within your system. Again, so much has already been said. We are only adding another layer of nuance to this. You can get very much more specific in different ways through many materials. So we are not saying that this is in any way the complete work and understanding of the chakras, but we are adding something more that you can integrate in your understanding. So now, today we would like to explore this idea and this understanding of your sacral chakra, the 2nd chakra, located in the region of your genitals and in the region just beneath your belly button. This area connects with your sexuality, your bladder, your, genital regions, your kidneys, and in the inner realm, it is about your feelings, desires, and instincts. This center has everything to do with feeling. It is at this level that you simply feel a strong sensation of energy, a strong desire to move that energy. And it is slightly more conscious than this energy, the root chakra, but it is still also somewhat on the subconscious. It connects with water, the element of water. And so the root chakra connects with what might be buried beneath the ground, hidden in the unconscious. The sacral chakra relates to that which is beneath the surface of the water. Yes, submerged, but still somewhat visible. There's some distortion of the light that happens as you look through the water, yet you still see exactly what you need to see in some level of a distorted perspective. So this is subconscious, not completely unconscious, yet beneath the surface. And so this connects with the understanding that you don't always necessarily understand why you want what you want, but the desire is there. The energetic pull is there. The feeling of strong sensation within your body moving you in a direction is there. And it is with then connecting this center with the more rational and human worldly upper chakras that you are able to find that balance. For without those upper chakras, this center would cause immense destruction in your world. This center is predominant in 2-year-olds. So if you want to think of somebody who is completely governed and guided by their sacral chakra, think of a 2-year-old. It is all about me. It is all about what I want. And it's all about saying no to what others want, in a sense. So when not connected with these upper centers, the sacral chakra brings a deep level of selfishness in it. And that is why it needs to be ultimately harmonized, especially with the heart and especially with the throat, allowing these desires to come into expression, allowing the synergy to take place in which your sacral chakra desires are able to be expressed and reflected with the sacral chakra desires of others around you. Now, think again of this idea of a 2-year-old. They are in this instinctual sense of wanting very much. They want to touch this, they want to see that. They want to relate and converse constantly. And there comes this deep, instant no response sometimes. This, of course, evolves as well with the solar plexus chakra as well, though we'll talk about that a bit more next week. This sacral response understands, or rather simply feels what it wants. And the mind has to learn how to interpret that wanting. So the 2-year-old, yes, wanting, desiring, expressing, and throwing fits of rage when those desires are unexpressed, has everything to do with how this center develops. If there is the presence of shame in those years of development, this center will shut down and will, in a sense, collapse onto itself. If that child is not allowed to want what it wants, then there will be belief systems that get stuck at the center and loop in shame-based patterns, preventing oneself from embodying true levels of authenticity. This then later develops into people who have great degrees of self-judgment and shame. They may feel intense desires for things that they have told elaborate stories about. They may tell the story that this desire is bad, the object of this desire is wrong or evil. I am not enough, I don't deserve to have this. And when these beliefs are implanted, they fester and they need to be explored. And as the center is water, you can imagine how tricky it is to sometimes clean up the water. For as soon as something enters the water, it disperses within it and immerses itself within every particle. So when it comes to clearing this sacral chakra, you have to work through this understanding of filtration, layer after layer of filtration, as if you have water that has become almost blackened with soot. And you have to take that water through an immense filter again and again and again until the water that flows is pure and clear without any trace of that soot left. This is the process of letting go of those shame-based belief systems that almost everyone picks up in some way. It is very difficult for you as humans to accept the intensity of your desires, because the desires often go against the grain of the limited structures that were set up within your world to make everything flow in the most perfect of ways. Desire itself is imperfect inherently. And it is not that every desire has to be fulfilled, but every desire has to be given space. You may not get what you want, ever, though accepting that the desire is there is key for this center to be flowing and functioning in a very healthy way. embracing that the desire exists is necessary for the center to be balanced. Now, this center is also related to your sexuality. This itself is an instinctual desire. And your sexuality and the way that you express it does evolve from how you learn how to relate to desire itself as a child. In a sense, all energy in your world is intertwined with this sexual energy. There is no aspect of your experience that is not intertwined with every other aspect of your experience. So how you learn how to relate to self and other before any concept of sexuality later comes to inform how you experience sexuality. And so when young ones come to feel as if they don't deserve that they have space and that they don't deserve to experience what they want, they will not be able to feel they're deserving and feel the ability to own their desire as it comes to sexuality as well. So healing sexuality happens here in the sacral chakra with releasing the shame, with learning how to embrace those desires and recognize that there's no wrong sexual desire unless it involves blatantly harming self or other. There is no sort of sexuality that could be negative, for this is the energy of creativity, and this is the energy that helps you to release and deepen into connection with self and with other. This creative energy of your sexuality has a very powerful way of letting your body both release and allowing yourself to open to the other. Through sexuality, powerful compounds of chemicals are produced in the body, and also on subtle energetic levels, immense energy from these two lower centers that are again unconscious and subconscious start to circulate and send waves of awakening through the body. When you are able to tap into these unconscious and subconscious energies and make them conscious by feeling very deeply everything you're feeling and sinking very deeply into your body and into your emotions and being present and expressive, then yes, these centers will allow for a primal life force known as the Kundalini to move through your body and send tremendous healing energy to every aspect of you. And so at that level, creativity is also related to how you heal, how you integrate, and how you expand yourself. This center is actually also very much connected with money, for it is money that is, in a sense, very creative. It allows you to make creative choices with your life. You create your home, you create your diet, you create your appearance, you create your relations through these transactions and purchases made possible with money. And you use these phrases and languages like liquidating assets, the flow of my finances, I dried up my bank account, I'm tapped out at this moment financially, as direct metaphorical chakra. When you have great degrees of shame and And so the deep healing of these inner child aspects is very necessary to be able to flow also financially. And you can understand the center as what ties together the relationship of sexuality and money. For there is often a great connection here, and you can see that through how partners often end up intertwining their own finances with each other. So to open the center, come to see yourself as water and feel the life force that flows in and out of your body. Allow yourself to feel each breath like the waves of the ocean. And as you breathe in and out, feel those undulating waves bring you deeper into your body and into all of the sensations and desires present there. All of these sensations, especially the sensation in these lower parts of your body, are you asking for something, desiring something. Learn to understand every sensation as a form of desire and come to embrace that desire. So we will offer you a brief meditation now before answering some of your questions. Yes. You can place your feet firmly against the ground if you'd like, or sit cross-legged if you'd like. Take some gentle breaths in and out, relaxing, releasing, and centering yourself into the here and now. Picture immense roots of life that grow from your heart down and out through the base of your spine, through your feet, into the earth. Feel these roots of life, pulling in that energy from the Earth's core and allowing it to send a deep magnetic resonance through your whole body, filling you up through your feet, through your legs, through your central channel and through your body, rising up all the way to the crown of your head. See yourself in a beautiful, immense pillar of light that surrounds your body, traveling from the center of the earth all the way up to the center of the galaxy. Follow this pillar of light out through the top of your head and travel to the galactic center. Experience it as an endless, formless field of light that then travels downwards as a waterfall or a shower, entering your crown, filling your whole body with white, clear, golden light. We invite you now to feel yourself seated in the sand on a brilliant beach. Feeling the waves come up to your toes. Immerse yourself in the water, entering it. The water is very calm. Enter the water and invite yourself to float. Letting your head and neck relax. A little effort. Feeling the weightlessness of the water. the waves crashing against you. Take in this energy, the water. Perhaps you feel yourself rocking gently back and forth. And as you feel the waves, also feel those waves of longing within you. Again, with every breath. Feel an up and down movement of sensation in your body. Feel your breath start to unite with the rock of these waves. As if with every breath, the wave pulls you into the ocean a little bit. With every breath out, the wave pushes you back to the shore, rocking you. Letting the breath connect you deeper with those sensations and ask, within the sensation, what desire is present? Within the sensation, what desire is present? How fully do I allow this desire to be there? Notice potential areas of numbness. And allow this breath and the flow of the waves to move energy into that place where there is numbness or tension. Explore the numbness or tension as unowned desire or disowned desire. Can you allow yourself to feel the longing beneath the surface? Can you allow yourself to feel that it is all right to experience and to have that longing? Can you also allow yourself to feel that it is totally all right if that longing goes unfulfilled? To embody that aspect of the formula that is, to release insistence on your expectations. Acknowledging that releasing insistence does not mean to erase your expectations. For some of you have followed that path with the false mantra, no expectations, which is a lie. It is not possible to not have expectations. It's paradoxically a fact that if you say, I don't have expectations, you are expecting yourself to not have expectations. And expectations are made at these unconscious and subconscious levels, of which you are only slightly in control. So be present with those sensations and those desires, knowing they could be there for the rest of your life. Letting that be okay. And simply enjoying that the desire is there. Knowing that if the desire is there, there's something to explore. Knowing that there are no wrong desires. There's simply wrong ways of going about meeting them. And again, if you really come into alignment with that formula, you will find the correct pathway. You may come back here when you like. You may practice this floating in the water, or maybe in the bath or in the shower, maybe in a flotation tank, maybe in a sauna, a steam room, maybe even skiing or snowboarding, exploring the ice in the frozen form of water. Yes. Invite more of that liquid light from the galactic center to flow into you, more of that earth energy from below to flow up within you. Taking a deep breath in and a sigh. To open and return to the present here and now. Oh, we thank you for allowing us to share this transmission, these messages with you today at this moment of your time. And now we ask you in return, in which ways can we be of service with your questions, musings, sharings, whatever you'd like to speak to us. Beginning whenever you wish.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, yes, welcome.
I wonder how this sacral chakra is connected, how it is connected to our digestion while it is in close by location.
Yes, in a sense, the intestines absorb water as well. And in this sense,
Looks like
there is a connection. What was that? Something about the channels connection? Hello? Can you hear us?
We can, but he seems to have some connection issues.
All right. So it is just him. It is not us. And then we will say that yes, the intestines also absorb the water, and they take in those nutrients. In a sense, food comes from a desire. You desire to eat certain things, so there is a connection here. And these two lower chakras also connect with the idea of elimination. They support you in eliminating the water and the matter that no longer functions and works for you from the perspective of yoga. They connect these chakras with the idea of apana, the force of elimination. And so you can come to understand that the healthy functioning of your elimination faculties has to do with how deeply you are in touch with yourself. If you are not breathing deeply, sinking into your body, getting in touch with what your feelings are, these centers will get clogged up. When you feel, you heal. By feeling, you release. Therefore, when you deny feeling, you deny the process of release. And that causes energy to get stuck in these digestive centers and also the bladder and the kidneys. And so to open and clear these centers, you have to bring yourself much deeper into your own feelings, own them, live through them, and your digestion will also come into balance.
Okay, thank you. And when I'm possessing some food, does also this chakra get affected?
When you what?
When I eat something.
Yes, it does. But again, eating affects all of your chakras.
Okay, and can you speak more of it? How does it affect the chakras?
Everything you do affects every chakra. Again, every single action and every single aspect of your life is connected with every other aspect. It is an energy. It is a subtle energy that enters you and then changes your core frequency and your vibration. It ripples through you. Every thought changes your entire being. Every subtle shift of your inner being is an entire shift of who you are. And so therefore it absolutely must affect every chakra.
And the pleasant feeling when I'm eating something, is it learned, or it is turning on some energy flow or something like that inside of me?
Oh yes, pleasure is deeply connected with these chakras as well. Taste is so much connected with this second chakra. And you have so much desire for taste. Yes. The taste nourishes different subtle frequencies. Every taste has emotions and energies to which it connects. So this isn't the main subject of these materials, but we encourage all of you to open yourselves to the traditions in your world that understand this, such as Chinese medicine, such as Ayurveda, that understand the science of food and science of life, that every single taste has subtle emotional and energetic qualities. And why you are attracted to something has everything to do with what you are unconsciously attempting to nourish within you.
Okay, so when I'm eating any food and I'm so to say programming it, may I change the vibration of food, right?
You can share your intention. You can eat in a more intentional and conscious way. You can have the energy of gratitude alive inside of you in that moment, which will make you more in touch with yourself and therefore allow you to be more present with your feelings, which will increase your ability to digest. And the gratitude is also a positive energy that will make everything more able to assimilate within you. But it is not powerful enough to change the core vibration of food. So you cannot be so grateful that you would change McDonald's into a raw vegan meal. It is literally not possible.
I've heard that there are some strong Christians that they can digest poison and not get
Well,
killed.
there are these magical powers that can be achieved. And of course, that could happen, but it is still poison. You are creating a level of protection from the poison, but that does not mean the poison does not enter your system. This can be done as a demonstration of powers to show the depth of one's faith. And this can be, in a sense, a positive permission slip to allow other people to open their minds to the higher reality of these subtle energies and what is possible when one is in deep connection with their higher self and spirit. Though it requires a great discipline and focus and is not even something that a skilled practitioner can do on a daily basis on command, because it requires a discipline and a focus.
Okay, so it still needs to have a lot of cleaning after intaking of such a poison, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've been speaking about letting life force to go in and out. Can you speak more about it? How this can go out? Because I'm usually focused on it intaking life force.
Well,
And
when you are going to the toilet, for example, you are releasing energy. It is going out of your body. There are heavy components within that which you take in that you don't need and are released from you. And that is still, in a sense, life force energy, because that waste then goes to nourish the biome of the earth. It is still contributing to life. So therefore, even if it is toxic to you, it is still life force that you are releasing.
I would like to make this visualization more effective for me. So is it better to visualize it on a cellular level? Or...
You can visualize it on whatever level works for you according to your permission slips and belief systems at this time.
And also,
because again, all of these meditations, all of these tools, all of these permission slips are to be adjusted according to your own present understanding.
And it can be also linked to my breath or other processes, right?
Breath.
Okay, so the breath should be the easier one. Okay, if I may speak, I have another question. When I'm releasing unpreferred emotions, I still feel a lot of echo of that emotion, and I need to keep repeating myself that it's okay to feel it, and I will respond to this emotion differently.
Yes.
And it takes a long time and quite long effort. So
yes.
I would like to speed it up if possible, or make it more effective. Can you help me?
Well, the only way to speed it up is to release more of your resistance. And if you are judging the process and insisting that it happens faster, or that you should have released more by this point, you will slow the process down. Just as we said before in this particular transmission, especially when you are working with energies at this level of the sacral chakra, it is as if it is polluted water that has to be filtered again and again and again. Yet every filtration, the water is a little bit clearer, but there's still something in it. So we invite you to be present with the understanding that as you go through this process of release, you may be working with the same pattern, but you're working with a slightly less dense and intense version of the pattern than you were a couple of days ago. And by having an attitude of appreciation to this, rather than telling yourself some sort of story like it is a Promethean curse, where you are continually lifting up the rock and watching it fall, then you will have a different experience of it. Some of you like that idea of the Promethean curse. It is helpful for you in your belief system because you have developed an identity based on suffering. And this identity based on suffering works for you because you like to present it to the world to gain sympathy, or to make yourself feel special, or to make yourself feel as if it is harder for you than anyone else. This is a particular kind of identity that has to do with not being seen and valued in childhood and requires a deeper probing. And the best thing to do is be honest with yourself that you prefer suffering.
Okay, thank you. And what was my question? Do I need to keep repeating this in order to release it completely?
You can make it the Promethean curse. Yes, you can. You have every right to do that.
Yes. So
you just have to ask yourself, do you really prefer that, and why?
Yes, because I want to clean it, so it makes sense to repeat it after it is cleaned, right?
Yes. That is different than what we were saying before. But yes, to clean it repeatedly is different than to repeat the exact same pattern. What you must do if you are really purifying it again, like filtering the water an additional time, is to remember the awareness that you are working with a clearer version of the same pattern than you were before, and it is not as dense as it once was.
Yes, that's my usual process that I'm working with.
All right.
Okay, and my last question is, how does the belief become subconsciousness or unconscious?
Well, that is how these centers work. They are beneath the surface. They creep up into your conscious mind as thoughts, but again, you aren't fully in control of your thoughts until you step into that mode of directing them. Thoughts simply surface. So they are unconscious because they are beneath the surface. They have been repeated so many times that you stop questioning them and you start automatically behaving through them.
And when I'm creating new belief, when I forgot about it, it's automatically unconscious, right? Or subconscious.
What was that?
When I'm creating a new belief and I
Yes.
forgot about it, it's automatically in subconscious, right?
Sometimes it varies moment to moment. Your forgetting is often, yes, a slip into subconscious or unconscious, though sometimes forgetting can also mean that you've been distracted by something else, which is all right, is natural, it is human.
Yes, I'm just searching for a way how to prove myself that this new belief is working.
Well, if you want to make the new belief work, you have to prove the new belief to yourself. You have to look for evidence of that belief's validity and focus upon it more than you focus on the evidence for the belief's falseness. You can't have both. So to look at both the evidence for its truth and validity and the evidence for its falsehood are contradictory. And sometimes what you attempt to do is look at both realities, but you have to throw away and discard all of your credence in that belief's falsehood. You have to truly understand that there's no way this positive belief could ever be wrong. And when you stop questioning the positive belief and you assume automatically at the base level that this new positive belief is fundamentally true, then you will know that you've actually fully integrated that belief.
Well, great. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thanks. You as well.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I was ill this winter,
All right.
and after that, my sense of smell and taste has changed dramatically. Things change. Things smell different, and a lot of things smell like sulfur now.
All right.
And I was just wondering, what does that? What does it try to show me? Or
Well, it is the virus lingering in your system at subtle levels. It will not last forever. It challenges you to understand that reality is experienced through many filters, and you can experience this distortion in your smell as a filter imposed from the outside, and play with the understanding that you can perceive the smell in this particular way while still knowing and remembering what it smelled like before. If you bring more of your awareness into what you remember something smelling like, and you put your focus there in memory and imagination, it will be a subtle aid in the process of accelerating this feeling. And yes, taking more supplements that are anti-inflammatory, immune boosting, and detoxifying will accelerate this process as well. Doing juice cleanses or fasts will accelerate this process, as well as heavy cardio exercise will accelerate this process.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks to you as well.
I have a question about,
Yes.
you mentioned self-judgment. So I'm curious how you can recommend that if we observe ourselves go into a mode of self-judgment, how we can transform that or move beyond that.
Well, you have to develop a belief and an attitude that self-judgment and shame is totally useless. You will have self-judgment and shame as long as you have belief systems in its utility. So many of you unconsciously believe that judgment and shame help you to improve. You believe that this energy is necessary in order for you to make a change. And therefore, you can have compassion for yourself, understanding that this negative emotion is there with you because you want to improve. And that feeling that you have is not necessarily something wrong with you, but it is simply a desire for improvement. So start to reframe these feelings of judgment and shame as desire for improvement. And as you see them from that perspective, gradually over time, you will be able to shed them through, again, that process of feeling through healing, being present with, not denying the shame is there, owning it, expressing it, admitting it in the company of intimate loved ones, to simply voice that feeling and allow it to move through you, all while, again, reframing to recognize that this old perspective that shame and judgment are actually useful is false and invalid. And instead, you can then move into the actual ways that you will improve yourself, which only happen through positive reinforcement, self-affirmation, owning your work, pride, self-love, celebration, appreciation, and togetherness.
Oh, very cool. I'm also curious, what happens when we find ourselves judging others?
It's very much the same. You can look at it as a desire for them to improve, or a desire to improve your relationship with them. So understand that there are really no others. And what that person represents to you is an aspect of yourself. They may be demonstrating qualities within yourself that you are judging, or they might be representing the opposite pole to qualities in yourself that you are judging. So perhaps that person isn't very similar to you, but you can see that what you're judging in them is a direct opposite to a quality that you have, and that you still might have judgment about. In this way, you can understand that any level of judgment is self-judgment, because again, all is one thing.
Oh, cool. And last question is that I often thought about how you mentioned about money earlier, how to navigate between having negative thoughts about money and then hearing about how important it is to have appreciation or gratitude related to money. Can you speak to that?
Yes, it is understanding money as creative energy, as that which allows for you to create and to build. Understanding that creativity is a paramount, deep, important part of love, and therefore money is an embodiment of love from that perspective. So as you integrate that more, you will be able to have a love for money and experience money as love. So when you receive money, you will be able to understand you are receiving love. As you give money, you will be able to understand that you are giving love. And in this sense, the fluid exchange of energy will be much easier, because again, if money is love, it will help to reflect to you that understanding that money is actually infinite, because love is infinite and unconditional. And so money will then be able to show up for you unconditionally. If you don't seem to have it, you can open up to the awareness that it will come when it needs to come for the purpose it needs to come for. And that can show up in many ways. It can also represent money that comes through loans, or as gifts, or abundance that manifests to support you in meeting the needs that you would use money to purchase, but instead you find another avenue for. So open yourself to understand that your abundance is unlimited, money is unlimited, love is unlimited, and all of these things are drastically intertwined.
Oh, beautiful. And then you also mentioned pride. I've often heard people talk negatively about pride. What can you talk a little bit more about how we can utilize the emotion of pride?
Well, there are some distinctions to make here. So it is very tricky in your language to put this in the perfect way. So we would describe the negative pride as egotistical pride that sees oneself as superior than others. Yet there can be a spiritual pride, a universal pride, a selfless pride that comes from the understanding that all are one and you are part of this universe, this multiverse. And what you are then proud of is not necessarily something that is individually you and individualistic, but you are proud of yourself as an embodiment of source. You are proud of the way that you as an individual can channel qualities of that one source that are potential within every human. And you can be proud of the fact that by stepping into that embodiment, you become a reflection for others to learn how to embody that very same thing and quality.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you as well.
There's a question on the YouTube.
All right, yes.
Okay, this one is from Vicky Soul Academy. Can you explain what happens when you eat meat and why plant-based is so important? Do you assume the emotion of the animal?
It has everything to do with the animal's life and the animal's death in that sense. An animal that consumed toxic substances through its life and suffered, experiencing stress, took all of that energy into its cellular memory, and that cellular memory is present within the meat that is then transferred into your body. However, if the animal is wild and lived a natural life, and there was a conscious relationship between the hunter or the caretaker and the animal, in which the animal's life was ended in a respectful and the least harmful way, then it is not necessarily true that one will take in toxic and negative energies from that meat. Despite that being true, there are some heavier components to meat. It is a little bit more difficult to digest, slower to digest. It is not the best for every person's system, but again, it is truly dependent on the belief system of the individual. In general, the plant-based diet is healthier, it digests quicker, and it allows you to feel lighter and more connected to the earth directly, for you are then taking your energy from a more direct source than you would be if you were taking the energy from an animal, who of course took its energy from the source of the plants and nature. Though in the future, yes, the plant-based diet will be more predominant. Some may choose to continue to eat meat. This is especially true for those you consider indigenous. And these people do have a deeper relationship with the animal kingdom and a respect for it. And it is not that this diet is necessarily lowering their vibration. It is simply their way.
That is awesome. There's another question that could have been a tad bit better on Zoom, but since the link's not showing up on YouTube, we can try it here. By Austin Miller. What did that, let me try it again. What did the Pleiadian woman say to him when he was under the tree meditating? He said it sounded like an old radio tuning.
We don't have a direct answer to this because this is something that is a part of your relationship with that particular spirit guide. So if you want to go deeper into that, we encourage you to call in that spirit guide more, perhaps even return to that same tree and listen deeper. Remember that if the guide showed up once, the guide can show up again. And they're inviting you particularly to tune into them and learn how to establish your own personal connection with them.
Okay, that's it for the YouTube questions. I might have my own,
Yes.
if it's all right.
Oh, it is of course all right. Why wouldn't it be?
Great, thanks, Council. It's super fun to interact with you guys even further and further. I've noticed recently that every night I get up to 3 to 4 dreams, and many of them have a good, kind of like a balanced out polarity of positive. And I'm wondering, is there something happening? Is there like a big shift happening in that way, energetically?
Yes, most certainly. For your dreams reflect your underlying predominant state of being. So if you are getting these positive reflections and reminders within your dreams, it means that your subconscious and unconscious are changing to be at the base level more predominantly leaning towards the positive.
That's awesome, because especially recently, it's like the clearing work has been naturally doubling up and taking priority in a way.
Yes.
Then something that kind of came up through insights, and I imagine connection with you guys as well, is that there was a noticing and an understanding that as if everything's kind of imagination in a way, meaning I can observe a situation, and depending on what my perception is or what my leaning of perception is, it would be seen one way, positive way, or a negative way. But I've also noticed that let's say if I look at television, then that's still imagination, because I'm not necessarily living those contexts. Yet it's still affecting energy wise. And I was kind of wondering, what's your...
So play with this understanding of imagination, that yes, everything is imagination. So somebody else imagined the cartoon, but as you watch the cartoon, your imagination starts to play along with the cartoon. And therefore, many of you have noticed that the stories that you watch and movies and films that you watch then become a part of your own inner reality. And you get to play around in your imagination with these characters that you've come to know. There is a whole realm of fan fiction. And what is fan fiction but a reimagination of somebody else's imagination? So yes, if you are watching the stories told outside of you, your imagination has to, in a sense, trace the imagination outlined by the story itself. And then as you trace it, that trace is imprinted in your own unconscious and becomes a part of your inner workings. So that is why it is actually very important for you to be careful what you choose to take in. Do you want that information and that energy to continue circulating through you? Is that something you really want to be a part of your life? Because it is not only there for just a moment.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. It's like the vibe is still lingering from time to time, and there's certain things that are basically working in an aspect of unity, and other things that just don't necessarily help in that way. This is really amazing. Thank you.
Oh, yes,
Um,
sir. Thank you as well.
I was also kind of wondering, in your dimension, how do you interact with thoughts? Are your thoughts directly represented as they kind of come up, or
Thoughts, sir?
yes, thoughts.
Thoughts. Oh, yes. Well, the thoughts instantly manifest as reality. As soon as we have a thought, it changes our whole vibration because we are very aware. And in a sense, we don't have the same functional unconscious and subconscious in the way that you do. There is more of a complete level of super consciousness, or at least that's what you would describe it in your world. Our thoughts instantly become. And so we cannot escape our thoughts, as our thoughts send off a signal that instantly affects the world and others around us.
That's remarkable. I guess one last thing. Actually, I'd like to mention, if anybody has access to YouTube, if they could put the Zoom link in there, it would be great, or in the description, because I can't seem to put it in the chat. Yeah, that's pretty much about it for me now. Thank you. Thank you, Great Council.
Oh, yeah, thank you as well. And this is why we suggest everyone get on Dante Starshine's email list, because then you'd have the link. It's there for a reason.
I'm curious, when you mentioned several times about feeling is healing, and now there was talk about movies and characters. Is there a way where, for example, with either watching movies or listening to music, to use that as a permission slip to feel more and then use that proactively for healing?
Yes, most certainly, as movies, films, music, all communicates through feeling. And if you allow yourself to deeply feel, or at least compassionately feel with the emotions presented there, you also can get in touch with those same emotions within you. It can unravel some of the belief systems entangled with those emotions. And yes, belief systems create emotions, though it is natural to have that response of sadness in experiencing another sadness or experiencing loss, as this grieving feeling is a way to process the loss of something and is naturally a part of things. So it is important to open yourself to all of these feelings, just as well frustration is necessary in order to help you move through certain negotiations or delays or issues in balance of energy. And it is only when these emotions become chronic and they are insistently on repeat and you are unable to escape the grip of them that they really reflect a belief system that is stuck within you.
Oh, cool. Is there any recommendation you have to creators of either movies or, in my own case, writing music, in terms of making that process easier for people if they're not searching for it themselves consciously?
Putting your own feeling into it and know that your greatest gift is the essential truth of who you are. So tune into what your deepest feelings, what your deepest desires, what your deepest yearnings are, and allow that to communicate through your music or whatever your art is, as the depth of authenticity is what will create that strongest resonance in how that impacts many others.
Beautiful, thank you.
I know, and our thanks to you as well.
There is a question in the YouTube. I've been working on building a relationship with my guides. his name is Satyr. I wonder how to tell whether it's really him or me making it up.
Play with the understanding that there's little difference, knowing that the guide is a part of you. If it feels like you're making it up, simply roll with it, play with it. Remember that, as we've said before, even the imaginary friends of children are real and represent guides. And if you can open and explore your relationship with this being, you will start to see how over time, if it doesn't feel like this being has a life of its own yet, it will start to have one. So remember again, your imagination is the portal into other realms of experience and expression. And we will not, in a sense, use too much of the time of these transmissions to discuss this idea. It is very thoroughly explored in the book that we have provided for you, the guidebook to living love on Earth.
May I ask one question from my daughter?
All right.
She's asking why she cannot eat as much pizza as she wants.
It is complex, or rather complex to digest. It is a strong carbohydrate. It is something that causes great inflammation in the body. It may feel soft, but it is actually very hard on your digestive system. Oftentimes, the desire for something like this, that is a carbohydrate, is simply a desire to feel full. So if you find yourself continually attracted to these heavy filling foods, you have to ask yourself, what are you trying to make up for? What emptiness within you are you trying to fill? And open to, instead of filling it, being present with that emptiness and allowing it to take you deeper into yourself, to explore your desires that may be unfulfilled or denied and disowned.
Thank you.
Our thanks to you.
I have another question. I really appreciate all the material you have given us about unconditional love. And I was curious in terms of how important the first few minutes of waking up is, if you have any suggestion or permission slip of specifically tapping into unconditional love in the morning.
Remember the moments you felt the greatest love. Remember the beings that you loved the very most. Remember, yes, both the people in your life that you love the most, and also the leaders, artists, and visionaries that have inspired you the most to bring you to feel the most love. Remember what you are heading towards and how that makes you feel inspired love and action, imagining as if it is already there. Bring yourself to focus upon perhaps an affirmation, perhaps a mantra, perhaps a visualization, perhaps a morning exercise, perhaps a breathing technique, or perhaps a walk in nature. Do something that is a positive reinforcement from that very beginning of the day, and make sure it is the activity that you love the very most, because again, what makes the permission slip work is the fact that you love it. And if you do that, you will certainly begin that day with unconditional love again and again. Thank you.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
We are fantastic.
Great. So I have a question. A couple days ago, I was riding with my family from a water park, and I looked up at the sky to the right, and I saw a beautiful, I'm almost 100% positive it was a UFO, unless it was something from the government. and it almost radiated like the sun, but it was so gorgeous. And then it was around 30 seconds and it disappeared. It went straight a little bit and then it disappeared. Sky was clear. It had nowhere to hide and it just left. I was just wondering, can you verify that that was a UFO and what kind of species that was?
Well, by fact, it was a UFO because a UFO is an unidentified flying object. And this particular UFO was, yes, a light ship. It was representing our world, actually. It was a Pleiadian ship.
Now, was that a message for me or was that just happened to, oh, I'm sorry.
Does anything simply happen by coincidence?
Nope.
So it must have been a message for you then, yes?
Yes, thank you. Can you expand on that?
You were in a frequency that helped you match that. Your willingness to surrender to the joy of the moment, enabled by that permission slip of the amusement park and flowing gorgeous time with your family, allowed you to enter into that state in which you were matching the frequency of us.
Now I have a question. That you said that was a Pleiadian ship, right?
Yes.
Was that my my guide, because she's Shoshana, she is a Pleiadian woman from Taygeta. Would that be her on that ship?
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Our thanks to you as well, yes. All right. Well,
There are possibly two last questions on YouTube.
all right, let's do it then.
Okay, then. From Leslie, is there a benefit to studying past life, or can it be more of a distraction from the present incarnation?
Many people do use the idea of past lives either as a distraction from the present or as a sort of egoic bypass in which they come to identify more with the other lifetime and suppose that it makes up for their shortcomings in this lifetime. So we must remind you that you were not a high priest in Lemuria or in Egypt. You were not the best friend of Jesus Christ, but you might have a soul counterpart who was that. And so you have a connection with the soul counterpart. And energy from their dimension spirals into your dimension as energy in your dimension spirals into theirs. However, if you make enough of a change in your dimension, it will also affect your soul counterpart. And you will be able to connect with a different version of that soul counterpart. And yes, if you make enough changes in your present life, you will find that all of your other lifetimes change as well. You can view these other lifetimes as mirror reflections of the same subtle energy dynamics that are currently playing out in your present lifetime. The information from these other lifetimes only reflects the present. It does not tell a story that is to be used as some sort of identification card for you to remember your entire history. Because again, all of these things are constantly changing and shifting. And it is actually possible that within this lifetime, you have a soul walk-in in which your present soul leaves and a new soul comes in. And that new soul might have different connections as well. So everything can change, including your other lifetimes. And therefore, it is the present that counts the most.
That is terrific. The other question that comes in is, I'm a tarot reader and a medium. Is there something else I'm supposed to do with my gifts?
What excites you? What excites you the most? What would you like to do more than anything else? Would you like to channel? Would you like to do astrology? Would you like to do palmistry? If there's a deep desire within you, explore it. If you are simply happy continuing to explore tarot and mediumship, then do that. Perhaps you would like to do something totally unrelated, become a nutrition coach, become a yoga instructor, become a scientist. All of that is relevant. The best way to tell is if you have that deep yearning and desire within your heart. And that will guide you where you ought to be going.
That's awesome. That completes it for the YouTube questions. Thank you.
All right. And that completes this transmission. So we thank each and every one of you for co-creating this interaction, for being present to receive this transmission, knowing that you are the ground through which this energy enters your world and changes both you and your entire planet. Thank you for establishing the grid by continually acting upon your passion and bringing in higher frequency energies through loving acts and loving yourself and doing what you love. This alone is powerful enough to change the world. So it is an honor to support you in doing that, as it is also what the channel loves to be doing this. And it is his way of demonstrating that formula too. So yes, yes, yes. Our great thanks, our great love. We are always with you. So know that you yourselves can open up to your own higher self, your own guides, and allow these connections in to receive messages in your own way. Open your heart to receive and continue to follow the flow. Until next time, ciao for now. Okay.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you, Dante.
You're welcome. Thanks,
It's
everybody.
awesome.
How's everybody feeling?
Fantastic.
Very good.
Wow, so much energy and learning.
Seemed like a very good one today, I think.
Very, very good.
Awesome. So again, please send me a message to let me know how you feel about these time zones. We were a bit smaller today. We were 3 people in the Zoom at least. So I'd love to accommodate for everyone. I can perhaps move it around a bit. It is a little tiring for me to do late in the evening, but maybe I will be able to make it work, at least for the next couple of weeks. I really appreciate you being here. If you really appreciate this, please support with donations. The links are on DanteStarshine.com and the contact page. Allows me to continue to do this for free. Zoom isn't free. A lot of the softwares I use to share content are not free. So you're really helping make this flow with greater ease. And I appreciate it. And so do the Pleiadians and the whole universe. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. You can get the book as well on Amazon, Guidebook to Living Love on Earth. Highly encourage it. It's a great resource. And blah, blah, blah. How was the transmission, guys? What did you learn today?
I really love how they talk about pride in a spiritual way, and connecting it into feeling part of all that is part of source, and really be a strong key component in some new alignment. I thought that was really a powerful distinction, because like I also said in my question, pride can sometimes get a bad rap.
Yeah, for sure.
And then have this way of utilizing it, since it can be a powerful emotion. I found that to be very, very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I think it's like a lot of the religions, blah, 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 they put all of this weird notions of what sin is in our brain, like pride, lust, like what are these things? Gluttony, it's like, it's an over-exaggeration of what's naturally human. But to make it wrong, to make it sin, it's kind of a distortion, but we're all kind of programmed with that culture. And it's about going against that and owning these things.
Yeah, and I also like this, that turning the self-judgment into a positive driving force, and how to do that.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people, present company included, can utilize that even better than before.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like I experienced that too. Gosh, like been through a lot of layers of that recently. I'm like, wow, I'm so feeling so hard on myself and wanting to just feeling like I'm not enough and not doing it right and bad person. But then working through that to release that is understanding, well, these feelings are there just because I want to improve, and wanting to improve automatically means that I am in alignment, I am in light. And the shame, it's like, like they said, there's no point to it. There's no purpose to shame, because all it does is lower your frequency. It doesn't actually help. If you feel a little bit of shame and you apologize, the shame should go away. That apology, that correction, that action should be enough to erase the shame. And if that little correction doesn't do it, then we know it's like a chronic problem that's representing this belief that's gotten lodged in our system. So, you know, all we have to do is recognize there's literally no point to this feeling. All that it's doing is lowering my energy. And if it's lowering my energy, I can't be of greater service to humanity. So be proud.
It's like this paradox of relativity, you know? It's like always trying to improve, but knowing that you improve to infinity. Yeah. But you know, it's not the way we were taught in school or with television. It's like there's always this comparison, which is frivolous, you know? We're not living the same life. We're not living each and every second of the same life and same nuances. So it's, you know, as they kind of came through and said, hey, once we get 100% sure that that old belief is like down and the new belief is in, through these understandings and repetitions, then we're able to kind of just crush these habits, you know? It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's ironically Pride Week in Copenhagen where we're at.
Yeah, we're at Pride Week. So later tonight, gonna go out and party.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably more tomorrow. It actually goes on a whole week here. The Danes really know how to do it in many ways. So yeah, it's a whole week, but it's been a busy week for me. I had a medicine ceremony and sending a friend off tonight, and the ceremony Saturday, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I wish I could cancel the ceremony. Anyway, story is many things going on, but there's still enough time to do a little party.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, enjoy the party.
What was that?
Enjoy the party. And the pita, if there's pita.
Pita? Pita falafel, yeah, always.
Nice.
Can't stop eating it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again for the session, man.
Welcome. So this won't happen next week. Sorry. So see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And everyone, join the newsletter.
It could potentially happen on Friday. Let's see what mood I'm in. I have to figure out where I'm landing on Friday because I'm going away to a gathering. So if I have time on Friday, I might do it then. But it's like, I think we did it on Friday a week or two ago and almost no one showed up. I don't think Friday's the day.
Okay, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It depends on your feeling.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, hey, have a good one. And thank you.
Spread the word about these sessions.
Everyone as well. Everyone that's there as well. For your questions were awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, good questions today. A lot of amazing things happening. Really fun. Oh, the last thing I forgot. Channeling course is enrolling now. If you want to learn how to channel or deepen in those skills, maybe you already have some things going. It's a practice container to really deepen into those skills and also intuitive healing skills, which is, you know, everyone else is practicing their intuitive healing skills as well. So it's a healing process where you get to unpack a lot and learn how to connect with your guides and learn how to be better at holding space and working with energy. It's an intimate group. There's one sign up. When we get 4 signups, we will launch the program, and there might be some more people hopping in after the launch, and I really recommend it. You can see the testimonials on the website page about it, YouTube videos about it. A lot of people really recommend the program, and then you're part of the channeling community of graduates who may occasionally meet and support each other. So if you want to dive deeper, that's available for you, and it's highly encouraged. So take a look, send me a message. I offer free program consultations about it, and we can talk soon. So until then, I will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Ciao.